Hello and welcome to Be Powerful with Liz and Lee. It's a new day and we're so glad you're here.
So you can expect to hear candid conversations on what it means to be powerful. Live authentically, live in the midst of ups and downs, productively, and above all else, joyfully.
We are so thankful for you, our community of listeners, and we hope you enjoy today's show. All right, everybody. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Lee.
Oh, when you said that, I thought, is that my name?
Yeah.
It sounded weird today.
Yeah, it's your name.
Ooh.
It is your name.
Welcome, everyone.
I know your name and almost nobody else's.
That's a fact.
I do. I'm getting worse at that. But
that's okay, baby.
That's all right.
You can't be so perfect at everything.
I think I'm getting better, though. I know everybody's faces at least. When you start to lose that, it's out to pasture time. That's not happening, though.
It's out to pasture. What a terrible way to phrase that.
It's a Concordian. Do you like my top?
It's really pretty. You want to talk about where you got it?
I do. And I'm not sure I like it. It's lots going on. But we
not
showered.
That much on camera. It's fine.
Is it not really?
No,
Okay.
you look great.
Yeah, we showered. I mean, I feel like we should say that. They can't really tell, but we're very, I'm pleased that I'm showered and clean. And I bought this on our fancy trip that we went to Europe.
I know.
In that fancy store called Harrods. Was it Harrods?
No, I think it was Harvey Nichols.
Okay. And it was on sale.
Was it?
It was Harvey Nichols.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was on sale.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
So this is the first time I've worn it.
Really?
Yeah, bringing it out for the pod. Here we are.
Yay.
Dressed up and ready to go.
Speaking of dressing up in outfits, and I really need one, do we want to tell them what we're doing again?
Oh, we could. Yeah,
yes.
we could.
Yeah, drum roll. We're right before Labor Day weekend. This is coming out. And next week, before the next episode, we will be in New York.
Maybe or maybe not. Anyway, it might be too. You're right. We don't know what day it is, but we do know what day we're going to go on the Tamron Hall show.
We're going back on the Tamron Hall show.
Yeah, on September the 5th, which is their fall season premiere. And they've asked us to come back, and we don't really quite know what all we're going to do, but we're excited to be there, and we hope you'll tune in. See what we're up to.
Yes, if you hadn't listened before, we did a recap. We went on last year in September, and it was really exciting. That was my first.
She's so amazing too.
TV thing.
Well, national TV, yeah.
Well, you do a lot of local TV.
I do a lot of TV, but not
we all
national.
know you're an international print model. But we hadn't been on a show together.
That's been a while. No, we haven't. And now we're going back on.
Yeah, it was exciting.
I'm ready to go.
So we love their staff. Greg called you or emmaied you, and
such a nice group of people.
I know.
And they're number one, I believe, in daytime TV talk show, and won all these Emmys, and well deserved. They're just an incredible group. So we're excited about that. So you guys
tune in. And we're surely going to talk about it after.
Yeah.
So you kind of have an outfit maybe, and I need to pick a something.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm working with, should I say it? No, I'm not going to say it. That'll be later.
Okay.
Yeah. But a local designer, because, we local people, we local business people, we stick with each other, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's new and upcoming. We are still rocking out at the studio. We have a couple things to hit hard as it relates to health and the workout, because we've been doing this amazing challenge, as we've talked about a lot, and it's been amazing. And each week we get together with the group and talk about feedback. So let's hit some of the questions that this group has individually and as a whole, but I think everybody has or has some ideas about, and you have some strong ideas
answers for them. But to preface that even more, this is a group of people that came randomly together that don't know each other, that have become really close buddies in this workout, that they've only known each other for about 2.5 weeks. And I think they're going to be friends forever. I mean, they're just really close, and they stick together and they support each other. Some work out all the time. Some have never worked out. And we're getting all the different questions and feedback. And all of it has really been so positive.
Right. And right now I could wager that the takeaway for most has been how good they feel, how supported they feel with one another. I'm not trying to toot our horn. I mean, you mentioned that, but how they save spots for each other and, are accountable with one another, and just how their mental health and their happiness has really changed with a consistent workout. And so it is not just as we always say, it's great to have these arms looking at Liz Hilliard, but there's so much more to it.
So much more
You're
to
welcome.
it. And the community is just so helpful. So we get the recurring questions, and this group is so candid. And I love that about having this special time with them. An age-old question: where do I get my cardio? Oh, I'm doing Hilliard Studio Method. I have an answer for her. And as a matter of fact, our group, we have this fun group text that's going on. And I said, I'm getting ready to podcast. I'll answer it there, but I'll answer you in a minute. But so I'm going to start with what is cardiovascular health, right? There is this, catchphrase, cardio.
Right.
I'm going to get my cardio. What does that sound like to everybody?
Like running fast, sweating hard, moving as fast as you can until you're breathless.
Right.
Okay.
And people have this other thought that, I need to do some cardio to lose weight, and then I'll be in better shape. And then perhaps I can strength train or do something strength training wise like Hilliard Studio Method. So this pilot program is kind of showing all of them exactly what I already knew, but also it's so beautiful to see it dawning on them that this is just one aspect of it, that they're getting their cardiovascular health with one workout. Now, I've always said the reason I've made this workout, that created the workout, is because I want it to be efficient and effective. And I don't want you to have to turn around and go run 5 miles. Now, if you want to, go for it. And I want to also say that we have a lot of really strong runners at Hilliard Studio Method that really love it. They run races, they run marathons, they do all sorts of things. And they also realize the strength and training aspect of Hilliard Studio Method is super helpful in their time,
Right.
and their durability. But for all of us that need to have cardiovascular health, the difference is this. You want your heart, which is your cardiovascular health, to be healthy and to be able to hold a VO2 max that is sustainable. Now, what a VO2 max is, and not many people even know what that is the amount of oxygen it takes your body to endure whatever activity you're doing. Okay, so you don't even have to use the term VO2 max. I want to be able to endure what I'm doing. Am I walking up the steps? Am I picking up kids? So the cardiovascular aspect of Hilliard Studio Method, the workout itself, the compound exercises with the movements, with all the things we do and the resistance work we do, reaches your cardiovascular level to that level where you will increase your VO2 max. How do I know this? I'm not making it up. I had my own scientific whole workout done. I did it 4 years ago, I believe. Haven't done it since then. But when I did it then, 4 years ago, I had a VO2 max level, meaning how much can I endure? They put me on a bicycle. They put me with a face mask in my face. And then they turned off the oxygen at one point. And then they saw how far I could go with zero oxygen breathing in my lungs. How much endurance I had after the oxygen source was diminished.
So were you holding your breath essentially?
No, I pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And so you just stay on there until you literally are going to
Have to
pass out. You've just got to stop. Well, my doctor and I were just I was like shocked.
Right.
She wasn't as shocked as I was. I was like, wow, because I do not do traditional cardio, which I think needs to be changed. Traditional cardio is, if you're a runner, go run. If you want to walk, which I love to walk, go walk. But the traditional, I've got to get cardio to get my heart in shape to lose weight is false. You can get your cardio by doing these weights, this method, with these compound exercises up to the elite athletes. That's where mine is.
Right.
How old am I right now? 69?
Yeah.
So I was like 65 or something when I did this. My BMI was pretty amazing too, but my VO2 max was that of an elite athlete, meaning I could endure a lot of things. My heart is super, super strong. One more point. I come from a cardiovascular heart disease family.
Yeah.
So that's beating the odds a couple of ways. So did I answer that?
Yes, you absolutely did. And I think you answered it both ways of you're not, anytime someone is moving, that's better than nothing. right? So it's not a diss or a dig on exercise that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It's additionally learning that an exercise that doesn't, in quotes, seem like a traditional method of cardio is actually so important for your cardiovascular health.
Right.
So I tend to tell the trainers, if you're in a plank series teaching where we jack the legs out and in, or you draw your knees in and out like a mountain climber or a run, I tend to say, do not call that cardio jacks. Do not call that cardio runs. And the reason is I want you right now, as you're listening, get on the floor and hold a plank for 1 minute. Okay, take deep breaths, make sure in your good form. And then compare that to if you're just running the legs in and out. There might be like that felt hard, but it is, to me, equivalent or harder sometimes to hold stillness.
It is.
To actually engage the muscles properly, to hold still instead of wiggle around or move. And the majority of people, if you're running, like you're going to lift your hips in the air, you're not really getting it exactly right. So while that feels good and varies it up a minute, we don't need to pound so hard to get the results that are beneficial to our cardiovascular system.
Correct.
At the Be Powerful podcast, we love a good spray tan. As we head back to school, summertime begins to fade. Our tans don't have to. No Shade Spray Tanning keeps us glowing all year round, and they're here to keep you glowing all year round. No Shade now has 2 salon locations in Charlotte, one at South Park, one in Birkdale. And we're giving you a special discount code for $10 off any salon spray tan. When you go to noshadespraytanning.com, you're going to choose the South Park or Birkdale location, make your appointment, and at checkout, enter code HSM10. HSM10 for $10 off that salon spray. No Shade continues to offer their amazing mobile services, which cover now all of Charlotte and all of Greensboro with no travel fees. Thank you to our friends at No Shade Spray Tan. Y'all, tell them we sent you for $10 off. Use code HSM10.
I was thinking about back in the day, I used to have a jump rope in my studio, in my Pilates studio, which is actually in my house right upstairs. And I did that because I knew that it was a way to warm the body up. But the one thing that's something like a jump rope or going up steps instead of pounding the pavement and running somewhere is you're going to increase your heart rate, of course, but you're also working those muscles and the core muscles, the leg muscles, the balance and the coordination all at one time. And it's just a really short thing. I used to do it for just really some people that were having trouble with coordination. Or some people that were having trouble with balance to warm them up, just sort of a jump rope. You're quite good at it because I remember we were in New York. You jumped in one on Times Square, and I took a video of
That
you.
was funny.
She's really good at it.
I hadn't done that in a while. But wait, we're going to New York.
We're going to New York. We're going to do it again. We'll be on Times Square.
That was exactly when we did it.
Or if you want to check your cardiovascular health, walk up your steps a few times. See how tired you get. And honestly, stairs they will tire all of us out. And some days you're stronger than others, but they're also, thinking about that, you're working your gluteus maximus, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, you're working your core, going up the muscles. You're moving your body in the way that it's really designed to move.
Right.
So going up steps is much harder than walking up generally an incline or a hill.
Right.
Because it's steeper.
And speaking to the efficient aspect of that, when people do ask, so to supplement HSM, do I need X amount of days of running or biking, for example? And I want you to remember that when you're doing an exercise program like Hilliard Studio Method, streaming or in studio or whatnot, you're going top to bottom, head to toe, front and back, inside out, total body. So then if you look at some of these traditional air quotes cardio, you're going to primarily be, using your arms to power you in running, et cetera, but primarily lower body, which is fine, which to get outdoors and to feel that way exactly is great. But I'm going to tout again the benefit of the low impact nature of the total body workout. And so, my takeaway is do what makes you feel good if you're moving, but you don't need to be doing more than the workout in a day. So if on other days you feel like going
go
for
for
a
a
run
run.
or walk, great. But there's nothing better than a total body core inside out.
Right. Yeah. So that's the answer. That's the answer. If you want to run, but don't say, I've got to run also. I have to get that time in to run because I need a cardiovascular work. We've got you.
Right.
And a good, strong workout, which I think is us. I honestly, this is why I created the workout.
Right.
I went to a lot of places and as much as I love to do yoga or even traditional Pilates, this is going to do it for you as far as strengthening your body toward health and toward movement throughout the rest of your life. So, all your systems are going to be on go when you do a workout that we have.
Right. And to go again to the strength training aspect of that, we know, as we talked about last week, longevity purposes to add strength training is 100% important and essential, really. And that type of exercise, this exercise, is that whole increasing muscle mass, which burns fat, which leads to a elevated kind of your optimum metabolism as far as it comes to weight gain or loss. And that staying in a healthy weight range for your body type is also very important for cardiovascular health. Right. That the fat, like kind of the bad fat where we're holding on to too much visceral fat around our organs, is also not great for our organs like the heart.
Exactly. And then your concern will be when you're 40, more so than when you're 30, even though it starts happening when you're 30, is your bones.
Yeah.
And your bones will start to, because your muscles will start to diminish naturally, that's a natural happening, then the support of your bones and everything will start to diminish. So I'm 69 years old. My bones are the health of, I don't know. She did it 5 years ago and she said the 21-year-old, but I don't know. We haven't done that lately, but I just know, I can tell by like my legs. I put my legs on your lap sometimes. She's a really good foot rubber and she'll go, your legs are so heavy. And that's the thing. You want your bones to be heavy. You want your skeletor, let's bring skeletor in here. Your skeletal system to be strong and healthy.
Right.
And so that's your thought when you start to get older for men and women. So it doesn't matter who you are. But that's important. So the strength training is the number one. That is number one. So if you said, I've only got one thing I can do, you're going to need to strength train. And I'm going to tout the workout last time, maybe not
forever,
but what you get with Hilliard Studio Method is the strength training along with the balance, along with the core, along with the stretch, and along with the cardiovascular work. You get it in 50 minutes. And that's pretty much all I'll say.
Well, Liz, I have 10 minutes today. Okay. Should I just, sling some weights around for 10 minutes?
Oh, great question, Lee. This
Thanks,
is good.
Liz.
This will be fun. Okay.
This is not
Well, first of all, if you have, no, not at all. 10 minutes. Well, I wouldn't sling the weights around. I might, if that's all I
curl
had.
them appropriately.
I would do several push-ups. I would do as many push-ups as you could do. Find a plank first, a really good plank. Do several push-ups. I would say minimum, if you are a grown woman, you should be able to do 20 in a row.
Didn't you say I should do how many? No. Didn't you say as many as how old you are?
Yeah. Well, I can, yeah. I mean, okay, let's just go with
in a row or like in a day.
I can probably do 30, 40. I can do 30, 40 in a row, but then I might drop to my knees for a couple and I'll go 20, 30 more. You can, it's okay.
Doing them properly.
Yeah. Doing properly and don't try to just rip them out and hurt your shoulder. So if I had 10 minutes, I would do as many push-ups as I could do until I broke a sweat, until I couldn't, I'm getting breathless. And then I'd stand up and grab a jump rope and I'd jump rope. Or I'd do squats. If you don't have a jump rope, no worries.
Do you want them weighted?
Yeah, that'd be great if you have weights.
Yeah.
If you can do some weighted squats because you want those glute, seat muscles, the quadriceps, all that to be working.
Add a bicep curl?
Add bicep. And yeah, if you got weights, do your biceps, and it's interesting. Some bodybuilders do like a bicep tri-day, chest, back, shoulders, and I get it. That makes perfect sense because you want to let the bodies rest. in that case, when you're doing that really, really heavy lifting. And then leg day, you never want to miss leg day. And we don't miss leg day one day at Hilliard Studio Method. So that's your bar work, your seat work when you're doing.
Ooh, we don't call it seat work.
No, we don't call it that. But we call it
glute work.
Glute work when we're on the floor doing, whether it's tabletop or doing pull away chair in the
Bridges, fold
bridges,
over.
all those things in the studio.
One really good question. She was getting stuck on reaching an X amount of steps per day. So let's talk about that for a minute, because that was a really good point.
Yeah.
All right. So she's an at-home worker, comes to the workout, zooms it, streams it, or comes in. Like a really good workout routine. Her concern or worry was, so now the rest of the day I'm at home, generally on calls, mostly on the computer, feeling inactive and feeling a stress to reach a certain goal of steps in a day. And our response was the following. Number one, it was stressing her out, the concept, the thought about it, that I have to hit X, Y, and Z. So your first response was, if it's stressing you out, ditch it.
Yeah.
Right? Don't ditch movement or exercise. Ditch the way you're approaching it.
Right.
So what I said was, every 30 minutes, every 1 hour, whatever it is, set a timer. And this is where you stand up, where you walk around your house or the block, where you get on a foam roller and open your chest, where you walk up and down the stairs. Every time you get a phone call, take it standing and walking and pacing. She had a walk mat, which I think she uses at different times. So it's great. So it's less about trying to hit goals that make you feel frustrated or challenged.
Yeah, that's
a great.
That's for people that want to just wear a hair shirt. I mean, they just want to suffer in life, right? We're not looking for suffering, but the recommendation for this general recommendations, like, drink half your body weight in water. General recommendation is try to get in around 10,000 steps a day. Every day you're not maybe going to do that. Some days you're going to blow that out of the water. I don't know. I tend to say when I start counting things like that, I even get a little obsessive about it. And I go, you know what? I sit down at my computer a lot and I work in front of a computer, and I'm listening to my body constantly. And really in the first 10 minutes, I mean, when you get into that flow and you're writing or you're doing work or whatever you're doing, you forget. But my body is always going, you need to get up now. So I'll get up and maybe I'll just do anything that I can do, because I use my phone and my computer and I'll put things on notes so I can use my phone, walk up and down the steps or walk around my house and just write on that, Yeah. And then get on the foam roller, open my chest up, like you said.
Yes. And I know that when you start moving around, if you've been still for a certain amount of time, or you feel like you're hitting that wall or losing a little bit of creativity, I know for certain that the minute you start moving in some way, whether it be up the stairs, around the block, across your house, back and forth, also like a gentle stretch, just take those hikes and flow a little bit, your brain creativity is going to pop back on and energize, in addition to making sure, you're drinking water and liquids and staying hydrated, and, timing whatever you figured out of how often you need to eat, keeping that protein in is going to go miles and miles. So some of us are trackers and need that. We feel good about that and it doesn't stress us out. And so great. Some of us that becomes, to your point, to our friend's point today, maybe a little obsessive, where we worry about it and we're worried about the process instead of the reality. And it's about being really intuitive about what your body needs at that time, instead of having external goals of what you're trying to reach. It's internally, what does my body need today? And listening to that and just starting to move and feel if that makes you feel better.
Body will never lie. And the more you listen to it, the more it will get louder. It will talk to you. I literally can't sit very long. And it's not because I'm fidgety. It's just because my body is that too. I'm not really fidgety. I'm just,
tweak your eye and wave your hand.
When I get up though, when I move around, you made a point. When I get up and I walk around my downstairs or something and I'm trying to write something, which seems like I'm always trying to do lately, all the stuff flushes out of my head. Right. And I just go, oh, that's simple. You just say it this way. And then your creativity can really be stimulated by the move. It is stimulated by the movement. of your body and listening to your body. So, and that can go on the other side of people that run too much, work out too much. Listen to your body, because there's your recipe for injury. It's when you're going, I'm doing it anyway. I don't care what my body's saying. Yeah, you're going to get out of breath when you're running a marathon or whatever. And I don't understand those anyway, but have nothing but honor and respect for you people that do it. My body has already said to me, don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm so sad.
I know.
I'll tell you what happened to my baby girl this weekend, and it all is about this.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so my little athlete, she's kind of the year-round soccer player, and I do think there's a bigger conversation around children as they age, how much they do, how many sports they play, how often they play, and how one-note sport they play or focus on one sport, and how good or bad that is for you. So my very dedicated, hardworking, determined 14-year-old going to high school, was starting soccer season and cross country season. So the reason in middle school she started running cross country was to get faster and have more endurance for soccer. You know, so this is all like the cobbler's children, right? I'm a personal trainer, and we've just talked about total body and strength training and all this. And I'm, you know, in the back of my head going, this is all lower body focused and okay. But,
and it's maybe
you know,
too much.
The intensity in middle school was not quite as much. So last week school started. She was going to cross country for high school every day, going directly to soccer, and it just didn't feel
90
good.
some degree heat.
Right, it's summer.
Yeah.
And so it didn't feel good in my heart. It's really challenging to
or in your head.
tell your child when they are doing something active and good in your head to that's enough, and to draw the line for them. And, you know, then anyway, the morning she had a soccer tournament this past weekend. It was going to be 4 games again in the heat. Saturday morning, she wanted to do the cross country time trials because she needed to for the season. And this isn't, like I said, middle school run around. This is like sprints and tempo and people who know how to run. And she does, but it went too far. So 7 minutes into her first soccer game, we've busted the knee.
Yeah.
And it's just heartbreaking for me, you know, to see your child on the ground and
I know.
to hear that sound, you just go, oh, I hate it. And it's just all of it floods in your head. Like there's that season. Here comes recovery. She's out. So, you know, we spent the rest of the weekend dealing with that and draining her knee. And she has an MRI tomorrow, so we don't know what it is. Probably one of those tears in the knee and surgery, and I hope not. But, you know, that's a lesson that she and we learned together. I mean, she's, you know, her body is practically an adult. And for a long time, children don't know the limits they need.
Which is why they have coaches.
Yeah.
Which is why they have coaches. And I would really...
I don't fault any of our coaches. It's the beginning of the season.
I would ask a coach those questions. You know, she's doing cross country. She's doing
that was a mismanagement beginning of the season. Yes, but the moral of the story is, if your child is a one sport year round athlete, are they getting balanced? Are they practicing too many days in a row? You know, are they playing too many games in a weekend? I mean, I think we've just all gotten on this train and we've done it. And, you know, we there's so many papers and things out about children going through puberty and how
they're vulnerable. First of all, they don't have the knowledge or the intuitive sense, or most of the time they're not really listening to their intuitive sense. They're just pushing through. They're doing what a coach tells them to, or whatever they tell themselves to do. They're not listening. And I think as the older they get, you're going to listen once you get you
get injured.
But you know, you don't want that to happen.
No.
And it happens to almost all real elite athletes at one point in their life, is they get some sort of an injury, wakes them up and goes, oh, okay, well, here's how we're going to go from here on out. So while it's sad, it's also, she's got that.
Right.
And now she's hopefully going to come back and pay attention and really and truly. But the adults in her life, I'm not talking about you.
No, I agree.
Coaches need to just kind of pay attention and go, hey, if you just ran time trials for cross country, perhaps you should sit this game out, or I don't know. I'm not a soccer coach.
Well, I mean, I had refilled her water bottle and walked by the coach, and he knew she had done it and said it was okay. And he said, don't worry, I'll give her 10 minutes. I mean, you know, we were 3 minutes from it. It's all, life is tricky, and you can't ever know what's going to happen. And playing sports and being athletic.
Just a question.
Can
do they
cause
stretch?
injury.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But There's probably room for lots of improvement.
Yeah.
We're going to learn those lessons and we're going to have the time to learn them.
Yeah, we are.
It's Beauty Palooza time. How good does that sound? And we are here to tell you how good it's going to be. Our friends at Infinity Med Spa are hosting the 7th annual Beauty Palooza. Save the date, okay? Calendars out, phones out, open up, let's go. On October 5th from 5:30 to 9:30, Infinity Med Spa will be having Beauty Palooza. What is that, you say? One of the most fun, biggest deal beauty events of the year. So let's go. They're going to have giveaways. Infinity does the best giveaways, the best swag bags for the first 300 people. I can attest to it. Go, win, save big. Fun, deliciousness. Oku, sushi galore. Bob Peters, drinks galore. DJ Vinny from the Panthers, music and moves galore. I'll be there. And the staff at Infinity is going to be doing live demos. So if you have a question or just want to check out a procedure before jumping in, go for it. All right, so we'll see you at Beauty Palooza on the 5th, but we're giving you one more thing. New patients, friends of the pod who want to try a service at Infinity Med Spa, get to use code HSM10 when booking your appointment and checking out. Tell them that the Be Powerful podcast with Liz and Lee sent you, and you'll get a special discount off your first service. Thanks to Infinity Med Spa. Let's go, ladies.
You can take workouts way to any level. You can take sitting on the couch way to any kind of level. What you want to find in workout in life, in living a great lifestyle that keeps us healthy and happy and living long, is to find the balance in between. Now, young people aren't going to know that. They be told, or they will learn the ways they learn. I hurt my knee when I was a basketball player. Anyway, you learn and you adapt, you get very good at deciding when is when and when to stop. But I think while that case is going on with you all, I think the case in America and especially Americans are too sedentary.
For sure.
And so, just getting up. So the point being, we always say this in this podcast, just getting up and moving your body, going on that wall, standing up while you're on the phone or talking or watching television or whatever is key to staying healthy. We're trying to take you to the next level. The longer you can be alive, healthy.
Right.
If people say, I want to live long, we don't want to live long and be in a wheelchair unless, we don't want to live long and go to doctor's offices and take high blood pressure medication when all of that is solvable by simple exercise. Resistance training is strength training.
And I do know that for people to come into the studio, they're paying a high price for a high quality workout. And I do know that that's a privilege. And we have found ways to offer it to be accessible for almost anyone, Zooming at a lower price point, streaming at a much lower price point, And I think that that's important.
Yeah, I do too. So there's all kinds of ways. And then if you can't even do that, you can always walk up and down your steps or go somewhere. There's a lot of steps in the world. Steps work. They really do. And push-ups work. It's you and the ground. It's you and gravity. There's weight as a moving body. And then let's not forget play. Because simple play, whatever you like to do to play, I like to do anything to play. I like competitive games. Maybe you like something different. I like to play ping pong. The movement of a body in ping pong, you talk about mind, hand and mind coordination and hand-eye. Thank you. Hand-mind coordination.
Huh.
Yeah, that's really intense there. So they say that's
ping pong's really helping your brain power.
Yeah, really. Yeah. We always want to talk about fun because that's the best part of life is having fun. Right. So whatever you're doing, whatever your workout you're doing, you know this. Hadn't you already heard this part? We always have fun with it. If it's not fun, we don't do it. Period. Done. Right? So if running is not fun, don't do it. If running is fun, please do it. If workout is not fun, do a little bit of it anyway. But find a way to have fun with it, which is what we do at our workout, Hilliard Studio Method. Gosh, there's a whole big trend with pickleball going on. All the things that you can do to get outside or to be with your friend group or even strangers, you're just playing and having some fun. That's what we want to do. And I think the way I would define fun is anything that's sort of like letting you be you.
Sure.
Maybe it's playing chess or writing poetry or whatever, but if it's fun, save time for that too.
Right.
And if it's movement and fun, you're getting balance. I mean,
Right.
balance and bang for your buck.
Yeah. And for those of us, you who don't jump at the chance to exercise in a formal way, I mean, I think that's a great way to do it because usually when you're having fun, the time just passes quickly.
Right.
So it's a great add-on.
Well, that's why I started doing this anyway, the whole creation period, because I was like, I've never been to so many boring workouts, except I thought that was funny back in the 80s when they did those step classes, but even they got boring after like the second or third class. It was the same steps. So,
I was listening to some friends the other day talk about it. They went all on, what's that called? The cruncher? What's the ab wheel thing?
Oh,
Not the wheel, but
yeah. I forgot. I don't know. I didn't do it.
Billy Blanks and Ty Bow. I did that in college.
I don't know that either.
It's like a kickboxing. He kind of looked like a genie, like bald head, ripped, buff guy who was a boxer. And so he would do boxing at home videos. I did that in college. I remember.
Good for you, first of all, because I think that's when I was doing gummy bears and nothing else to eat and dieting all the time and, having like literally cardiac rhythms and going to the doctor. When I was a model, I was just like, I'm just not going to eat. You were at least doing that.
Yeah, try to
did you
even
think
out
it was
the
fun?
terrible things we were ingesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I've always liked to move. And so that was one way to do it.
Yeah. Go dancing then. Yeah. You can go dancing. Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, dancing around. That's fun. I used to go dancing, sweat, have fun.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. The 80s workouts, there was a lot of those fun. Well,
lots of
were
trends
born in the
and
80s.
fads.
You were more like the 90s workouts.
Exactly. I was born in 79, so I wasn't doing a whole lot of working out in the 80s.
We've quit watching that thing called Physical. Oh my
with Rose
gosh.
Byrne.
It's dark, it's good, it's funny. It's 80s. It blows my mind. I mean, I still can't believe we wore all that stuff and worked out. But some of us did, some of us didn't. So
I know.
Anyway, so let's just end this train by saying, let's move our bodies like we always say we're going to do, and let's do it. And let's have fun doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful for the challengers giving us so much content.
Well, content and
but I mean that in a positive way, right? Encouragement and reminders that this really is an amazing place with amazing people, and what you created is amazing, and
what they're creating is amazing, and what you can create with yourself and your people is amazing if you get together and move together. It's fun.
I know it's really helped us know that we can do more in bringing our own clients together and within their own groups, that people aren't coming in there alone, that they do have each other. And we want this group that we were trying to think of a hashtag for their name. They're like the OG challengers.
Yes.
Which is so great.
And we do have some groups. We're going to give one more shout out to the Hilliard Hotties, because we're going to see them tomorrow night. And we said their names in the podcast before this one. But this is a group of women that are pretty much, we'll say like 45 and up. Is that about their age group?
Some older than you.
Some older than me, some around my age, some a little younger, but they call themselves the Hilliard Hotties. They even have shirts.
I love it.
And we went to the Christmas party with them, and they had their shirts.
Yes.
Anywho, so we're going to go to party with them tomorrow night. And this is a group of women that got together at Hilliard Studio Method, became friends, and now they do all kinds of things together. So we get to hang out with them tomorrow night. So
that's great.
Be ready for some Instagram pictures.
Here we go, hotties.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to us today, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can now find our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. If you liked it, please share, rate, and review. We love 5 stars. And we hope you'll work out with us online or in studio at HilliardStudioMethod.com.